All right, guys, it's been a minute since we made a video. My car is slowly but surely coming back together. The motor been just slammed with work, paint correction, ceramic coating cars. Did a car for Autorama that was competing for the Riddler, so that consumed basically a lot of last month. And then just other customer cars, but got a cool one. Haven't made a detailed video in a long time, and I just went and picked up a very cool Fox body, kind of a barn find. Thing hasn't been washed in years. Single stage paint, a time capsule of a car. Really excited to do this one. Yeah, super dusty. Just went and picked it up at the trailer. Does run. It's a 6-cylinder car. Absolute time capsule. It's in good shape. It's covered in dust. Like I said, has not been washed in years. So we are gonna make a video on bringing this thing back to life. Like I said, it is single stage paint. That's a little bit more of a project. The car is from Arizona, so it has baked in the sun. You can see the trim is a little worked from that. There's some spots on the paint that look thin, but it's a little late tonight. But tomorrow morning we'll throw the paint thickness gauge on it, see what we're working with, give it its first bath in years. All right, guys, it's the next morning. Gonna get this thing pulled out, get it decontaminated so we can get after. A lot of barn dust sitting on this thing. Pull it outside and get after it. I'm actually gonna wash it one more time, 3 total times. Just every time, last 2 times, more and more stuff has come out of it. But yeah, keep washing, and we'll get it inside and start the actual process. Paint looks like it's gonna be okay. Definitely some spots that we're not gonna be able to do anything with, but for the most part, it's a pretty clean survivor. The battery's dead and I can't push it in by myself, so charge it up. You can see this thing is completely stock. Big 3.8 liter V6 car. stinky. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is check and see how thick this paint is. Just to give you an idea, a newer car is going to be, my wife's Lincoln, I think, is 7.5 mil. So let's see what we got here. .25. Now remember, this is single stage paint. And if you look at the spots that are baked by the sun, they're going to be even thinner. There's no paint left on this roof. Ooh. Now you can see these thin spots actually in the paint that's almost already changing colors. Definitely talk to the customer when he dropped it off and let him know that we can only cut this as much as we can. We'll definitely make it shiny, glossy again, but a lot of these scratches may not be coming out. Oh man, super thin. The stuff that's not directly in the sun, the sides that didn't get baked, got a lot more paint on it than parts that are just getting ripped by the sun. See that difference? 3.5 to 1.8. 1.5 is the lowest I've seen, which is over here on that other side. But it's a good idea just to walk around the entire car, know kind of where your danger zones are, and you just gotta kind of have to tread lightly in those spots. See, a lot of these cars, you can tell how they sat in someone's driveway. One side will have less paint, be more sun faded than the other side. That's just because the sun's hitting one side more than the other. Looking at it, 4.2 over here on the back of the fender. Well, let's check this side in the exact same spot. And you can tell this side's a little more faded. About a mil difference. Definitely make it glossy again. I'm just concerned about getting out all the scratches. Cool thing is he is planning on leaving it the way it looks. That V6 is coming out. It's gonna get a small block Ford, I think he said, with a single turbo, and it's gonna be a stick car. It's doing a Magnum Tremec in it, so it'll be cool. It's just gonna be a street car, he said, no cage, you know, 600 horsepower or something. But yeah, he's gonna leave it looking the way it does, which I think is so cool. Let's get to work. Let's get the polishers out. Let's get after it. See how it comes back to life. Well, we're gonna start out with yellow pad and ultra cut from CarPro. Just gonna do this fender, a little test panel here. Let's see what happens. I'm just treading real lightly on this first go around. See, it brought back a bunch of gloss. Probably bringing back some gloss. All right, switched up the program. The final program we're gonna do is Rupes Coarse Blue Pad with Ultra Cut from CarPro. In second stage, we're using microfiber pad. Obviously, that needs to get blown out. From just one panel, you can see how much crap gets in the pad with the single stage paint. And with that pad, we're using Rupes DA Fine, which is actually a fine kind of like finishing polish. But with that pad, it still has quite a bit of cut. On the camera, how oxidized this paint is. You can really see that corner. And on the hood right here, you can see where I came over with the polisher on one cut. But you can see all the oxidation here, and obviously on this piece hasn't been done. So yeah, now we do the whole car. Should be, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna be a long project. I tell people that their car is gonna be a different color once we polish it and cut it and get all the oxidation off it, I mean it. So just did this side of the roof, and this side is not done. This is clean, guys. We washed this car 3 or 4 times. Not done, done. So you can see all of the oxidation taken off over here. All of it's still living over here. And that's all transferring onto those pads. We're pulling it off, we're blowing it off. And actually did 4-stage cut on the roof, kind of like walked into it a little bit slower just because the paint is so thin up here. I didn't want to burn through it. So 4 different pads, 4 different compounds, but end result is really good. Big before and after there. One thing I'm noticing as this paint comes back to life, you got to remember we're taking off a big layer of dead paint. You can see a line right there. So just so you can see the color change. Again, cut, uncut. So as we take off that layer of dead paint, anything that's underneath will show much more. So some prime examples of that are here in the door. You can see at one point someone filled all these holes with touch-up paint, and they sanded it before, and they went through everything. So you can see the blue. There's a bunch of spots like that where you can see they sanded here, and they filled in that crack here. So what you got to do is be aware of this. So you're polishing a lot less around these spots, which is a little unfortunate. This side of the car has way less paint on it than the other side. And lots of spots where they sanded on this. Here's a prime example. They filled in all these little cracks, but they sanded it a bunch before they did it. You can see the primer marks there from them sanding it. Same with here. The paint, I don't know what they did here, but the paint's really rough. But you can kind of see the primer bleeding through. So you got to tread super light on this panel. I went down a polish on this, or a compound. This whole side of the car just has less paint measuring it. So this side probably was in the sun wherever it parked in Arizona. All right, initial cut is done. Car looks pretty good. Definitely coming back to life. Got a lot more vibrant, the paint. It's got some depth to it now. So let's see, been on it 12 hours so far, but I'm gonna put a coat of essence on it so tomorrow morning I can start coating it right away. CarPro Essence. And the importance of this, guys, on single stage paint is you have to use a primer or you will have premature failure of your ceramic coating, and you have to make sure you get off all the oxidation. A lot of people say not even to put ceramic over single stage paint, but if you get all the oxidation off, if you use a good primer like Essence, Rupes also has a product that is essentially the same thing that I've had good luck with. I've coated many single stage cars over the years and had great success, but definitely getting all the oxidation off. Using a primer is definitely going to help. I think I'm actually going to use 21, and I'm going to just use another DA Fine pad. This paint is not perfect. We know that. There's still going to be some scratches in it. So I think it's going to be the go-to. We're going to do this guy with Essence, and going to bring a little more gloss out of this before we coat it. All right, here we go. Day 2. Got the car completely polished last night. It's as good as it's going to get. This is not like doing a car off the showroom floor where you can just give it the beans and get every scratch out and not have to stress. You got to tread lightly on older stuff like this, especially stuff that's been in Arizona baking in and the sun for its whole life. So anyway, pretty happy with the gloss, but that's going to get even better because we were about to put on 2 base layers of C-quartz, which will get followed up with a gloss layer over top. So essentially 3 layers of ceramic on this thing to help protect it, because this will be the last time this car can ever be paint corrected unless it is repainted. So the more ceramic, the more protection we can put over it, the better. Hopefully this customer will also pick up some reload and you know, constantly be putting reload over it every 2 to 4 months. That definitely helps prolong the life of the coating. It's coming back to life. Let's get back to work. Here we go. Two base coats of ceramic are on. Cleaned up the headlight bezels, the trim. It's, you know, it's a 10-footer now. Overall, the car came back to life pretty nice. That fender has the least amount of paint of anything on the car, but definitely brought some gloss back to the old girl. It looked a lot more presentable than it did. Still got to put the gloss layer on it, so it will get way glossier than this. Got to give this 4 hours to cure. You know, there's still a lot of scratches in this car, like I said, guys. For you that follow me on Instagram and Facebook, know that I typically do, you know, drivers, higher-end show cars. Just did a car that was competing for the Riddler Award. And we make those cars into absolute mirrors. There's no scratches on them at all. They're absolutely flawless, perfect. But they have this much clear coat on them versus this car having no clear coat on it and a very, very thin layer of single stage paint. So I almost think it's more rewarding to bring cars like this back to life than it is to polish a car for, you know, some car show. I definitely think it's cooler. Plow these cars down and get all the oxidation off them. But really happy with how this thing's coming along. Stay tuned, wait for the gloss layer, it's gonna get even better. Got done putting gliss on, gloss enhancer. It is awesome as a top coat, makes the paint more hydrophobic, makes it slippery to the touch, brings out a bunch of extra depth and gloss. It's a great coating for you guys that want to do ceramic on your own at home. It's really user-friendly as a standalone, so definitely check that out. Remember, I am a Car Pro dealer, can hook you up. So that's kind of the gist. Remember how this thing started, guys. It really didn't have any gloss left in it. We brought a lot of that back while treading very lightly with how little paint is left on this car. But I'm really stoked with how it came out. Big transformation. Coated the trim as well, headlights, put some reload on the wheels, and pearl on the tires. So he's ready to start building this thing. Another cool street car getting built here in South Lyon where we live. Bunch of Fox bodies around here. Just killer to see. This is going to be another cool car when it's done. But now that the paint is shiny, he'll be motivated even more to get after it and get this thing built. So if you guys like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Peace!
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way.